Okay. sorry about the interminable length of part 3. Part 4 will be shorter because what I want you to do is do an exercise on your own that will help prime your mind for the midterm assignment. Now, I'd like you to assume that you are responsible for assembling an application profile for a large public library system. And what I've done is I have created I've created links to websites for 3 works and 3 persons. Okay, so work is an entity and person is an entity. So we've got a Dvorak concerto. We've got a motion picture, Murder on the Orient Express, and we have Western University's website. We have 3 people: RuPaul, Kenneth Lonergan, and John Dryden. What I would like you to do is follow the links and look at the information provided for each of these, and then go to the list of attributes and elements for work and for person, and I'd like you to imagine which attributes and which relationships you feel would be useful for inclusion in an application profile. Now, what I've done is I have created a spreadsheet which you will find on Brightspace, and you can see I've listed the attributes that RDA has assigned to the work entity, and then I have listed the relationships that RDA has assigned. The relationships go on for quite a long time because the relationships are wildly detailed, and you may decide, as the Library of Congress did, that they don't want to get as detailed and specific and granular as RDA allows us to do. So there is a worksheet for the work entity, and there's a worksheet for the person entity. And what I would like you to do is, assuming that these examples of works and persons are reasonably typical of what one would expect in a public library catalog, what attributes and relationships assigned to the work and to the person should be included, and for each attribute and relationship included, should it be mandatory or should it be optional? And can there be more than one? So, if we think, for instance, of the character of RuPaul, and we look at the fact, is it necessary to have RuPaul's address? Is it necessary to have John Dryden's address? Is it necessary to have Kenneth Lonergan's address? If we decide that we want biographical information, should that biographical information be mandatory or should it be optional? And should we allow multiple or just one? Okay. Do we include the gender? Do we include the language? Do we include the note? All of these are guided towards the notion of making an effective description of the entity. Do the same thing for Dryden and for Lonergan. And you'll find a long list of person relationships. Which ones do you think are relevant to each person in this case, and which and should there be more than one, or or just one, and mandatory or optional. Do the same thing with work. So, is academic degree relevant to concerto? Doubt it. Or motion pictures, or university website, possibly to university website. Aspect ratio might be relevant to motion pictures, but not to concerto or university website, etc. So you don't have to share these. You don't have to report on them. You don't have to. This is just to get you thinking about the kind of decisions that need to be made for the midterm assignment. And in making your decision as to what you consider relevant or not, you should keep in mind that an effective library description should facilitate the objectives of a library catalog, which are to enable people to find, identify, select, obtain, and explore the resources of a library catalog. So do that on your own, and we'll talk about it next week when we meet in person. And in the meantime, stay warm, and I'll see you back in person on January 29th. Take care, everyone. Have a good week.